Some Tokyo Olympics athletes have complained about being bored during their spare time at the Games, so a few ended up drinking together in a park on Friday. But that goes against the Olympics coronavirus rules, and now the gathering is being investigated by organizers. The punishment for those involved could be losing one's Games accreditation. That's what happened to two Georgian Olympians for exiting the tournament's bubble and taking a tourist trip outside the village. Our Tokyo correspondent John Matthews is live from the Japanese capital with the latest. John, so this investigation into those athletes who were found having a drink or two in the village has begun. Has there been any new developments?
Well, they're still investigating, apparently, so we can't say for right now. The IOC and the Japanese side are traditionally very tight-lipped when it comes to A, coronavirus positive cases, and B, any sort of infringements of the playbook until at least they come to a final decision. So for now, we are not sure where they come from, how many there were, what exactly was going on. But as you said, they were out drinking allegedly in the park inside the village in a group, which is indeed a big no-no. We do know that so far, including those two Georgian judoka, that 6 have been stripped of accreditation as of July 31st. That includes 4 workers who were sent home, actually who were arrested here in Japan on suspicion of cocaine use. This was well before the Games. This was 4 contractors. Now, but otherwise, we've had 22 others who have been either temporarily suspended or had warnings, mostly slaps on the wrist on those situations, but we have no individual case information to work from. Now, interestingly enough, by the way, there are financial sanctions are listed in the playbook. The playbook is the Olympic rule book, the thing that sort of outlines what they can do and how to enforce things. But they haven't really, they've really shied away from using the financial sanction side against infringements. They said it'd be a case-by-case basis, and as so far we've seen no suggestion they might even try to go that direction. Now, of course, local laws naturally apply, including in that cocaine arrest, but we do believe the IOC has the authority to, as well, strip medals from athletes who have violated the rules, but the 2 Georgian judoka have not had their medals stripped. So the worst punishment it seems the IOC is willing to impose, and the Japanese side is willing to impose, is just sending you home.
Well, those 2 had won silver medals and they were done with their event, so I suppose the IOC deciding to be a bit kind. How effective has this bubble been? We know the rules are there and they're strict to prevent the spread of coronavirus in the bubble, but how effective has it been? What are the numbers looking like?
I think it's pretty fair to say at this point, halfway through the Games officially, that the bubble is not all that effective. It is there. The rules are there. Many people are following it, including domestic media. We of course, are domestic media. Rather, we're based here in Tokyo. International media coming in. We've seen a lot of people who are really cooperative with the rules. But we're also seeing that it's just very hard to monitor a group of 15,000 people, including athletes, delegation, international media. So many groups who are here for the Games. And it's been very difficult to enforce these rules. Even during the Games, we're seeing a lot of no social distancing. We're seeing a lot of, we're seeing occasionally no masks. Some are refusing to wear masks, including some U.S. compatriots of mine. So we're seeing a lot of these rules that are not being necessarily followed. And the question is what is going to happen on the enforcement side. And like I said a second ago, we're not seeing much in terms of strong sanctions from the IOC. Really, it's just sort of slaps on the wrist. We've already seen early on in the Games, especially, and I want just one sort of anecdote here, was that we saw many first-hand cases where Olympic athletes and delegations were mixed in with general population members, traveling to the airports, coming into Tokyo, to Haneda and Narita airports, and they were on the same flights as general population. They were sort of traveling with them. They weren't really separated. The transport after that was pretty well separated. They were in their own transport, their own private buses, and so on. But we are seeing situations where athletes are kind of getting out and about and not really able to be monitored. So the bubble isn't really a bubble, really, if you think about it that way.
Belarus sprinter refusing a forced flight home yesterday after she had criticized her coaches. She feared for her safety. What's the latest there?
Absolutely intense story unfolding as we speak right now. So I'll tell you as much as we know right here at this moment, mid-afternoon here, Tokyo, on Monday. It's Monday, right? So Kristina Simanovskaya, long outspoken against the Belarusian regime and President Alexander Lukashenko. The Olympic Committee on the Belarusian side is run by his son Viktor. She was called out for criticizing the coaching team. She apparently was put in for the 4x100 meter relay race that she had not trained for before. She had spoken out on social media, and then she was apparently told, although the Belarusian side said that it was her mental state that they were pulling her from the games and sending her home. She said it was because she was criticizing the coaching and, of course, her stance against the government. But she was taken in what was described as a kidnapping by some at the games to Haneda Airport here in Tokyo. She refused to board, stay with Tokyo police, and she was eventually late evening, around 2 in the morning, I believe. She was brought to a hotel near the airport and accompanied by staff associated with the games. We have heard reports now that her husband and child have left Belarus and fled to the Ukraine. They are there safe. She herself has been offered help here in Tokyo by Poland and the Czech Republic. So lots of drama happening here. We're not sure what's going to be developing, but she seems to be safe at the moment from what is perceived to be quite a political threat.
Jeez, John, lots happening on the track, on the field, and plenty happening on the fringes of the Olympics. Thanks a lot for keeping us updated. Our Tokyo correspondent, John Matthews, thank you for your time.